Alright guys, so I figured I better do another video update because I haven't in a while. Or I have, but I haven't since I fiberglass. Alright, so basically, after I completely fiberglass everything, it's not perfect, but it'll do. What my plan is, or what I've done since for today, basically, is I sanded everything. It doesn't look like it. Basically what I did is I took 60 grit sandpaper on my mouse sander and sanded this thing by hand. After I was done sanding, I vacuumed out all of the dust and all the other nastiness that's in here. And then after that, I went through and wiped it all down with a damp rag to get out all the remaining dust and remaining particles, particulate matter and stuff that I couldn't get up with the vacuum. Now that that is finished, I really don't feel like messing with it tonight, so I'm not going to. I'm leaving it here. So tomorrow is when I will start applying the pond shield. And again, I will apply it in thin coat. Well, I'm not going to say thin, but I will apply it in coats. I sand it out. Excuse me, let me back up. Remember the bubble that was there yesterday? I cut all the excess out and I sanded it down so it's smooth and even with the rest of the fiberglass, the rest of the epoxy and everything else. Same thing with what was going on in this corner and along the rest of the edges and anywhere else where it was uneven and all the other craziness. I sanded it out so it was even. Now, it's still not going to make 100% sense or complete sense to everybody. Again, this is supposed to be for my turtles. One of my turtles, a large female, she breeds frequently, she lays eggs. In order for her to lay eggs, what I'm trying to do is to build an internal nest box. That means that she's able to haul out the water. She's able to go to somewhere that's going to be sandy, loamy kind of soil, sand mixed with peat moss or sand that's mixed with leaf litter and that kind of stuff as it starts to break down so that she's able to lay her eggs. What I want to happen is for me to be able to hook up a misting system, some type of rain system so that it's able to moisturize and keep the soil, the sand at a certain moisture level, specific, mainly for when I'm not home and my wife has to deal with the turtles. But at the same time, it still functions as a filter, as normal, like a filtration system. What I did is, my train of thought is, I should say, what my train of thought is to set it up much like people do dart frog terrariums. What that means is I'm trying to build a false bottom. With this false bottom, basically, if I water the top, all the moisture and all the excess moisture and all the excess water will drain through the bottom of it, and it just be sucked right into the filtration system. So it's not going to stack, it's not going to pool at the bottom. It'll basically get absorbed and then go back into the filtration system. The problem is I've got 36 inches worth of height, approximately. Really, it's 37 inches, but we'll say 36 just for whatever, right? Easy math. So 36 inches worth of height. My water line is going to be approximately 30 inches because that hole that I drilled right there, the bottom of it should be just under or just over 6 inches from, yeah, I'm gonna say 6 inches from the top, give or take. It might be closer to 8 inches from the top. I really don't know. I didn't measure it that well. I basically took my speed level or my speed square and measured it from there. So the water level will be slightly lower. However, again, these are big turtles. I don't need anybody climbing over the top, so I want to make sure I left enough clearance so that she wouldn't climb out. There will be covers and things like that over it. However, again, these are very big turtles. They're not that little. And they're very strong turtles, so I want to make sure that she doesn't get the urge to climb out. So for the false bottom, I bought these crates. All right, so these are basically dog food pallets that somebody was selling on eBay. I think I paid $15 or $20 for a pack of 4 of them. They fit almost exactly where I need them to. So because they're a little long, I'll probably end up cutting maybe 4 or 5 inches off of them so that they fit snugly. I'll build a box to support them, or I'll build a system to support them. That last one probably won't get used, but it leaves, I'd say 7 or 8 inches on the corner over there. Maybe I'll end up cutting it long ways like I've got it now, and then I'll figure out how to make it fit. They're 24 inches from front to back, 24 inches by 16 inches wide. I don't feel that if I were to try and turn them long ways, 16 inches is long enough for my female to comfortably lay her eggs, considering she's over, or she's approximately 20 inches herself. So I wanted to make sure that I gave her enough depth. So 24 inches by 16 inches across the entire side. So she's got 5 feet to figure it out. The height, the depth at which I plan on having these, I want to make sure I leave approximately 6 to 8 inches at the top so she's not climbing out. And I want to leave at least an inch or two above the my drain holes here. So her depth should be approximately 10 to 15 inches in order to, or maybe a little, my math is off again, I'm sure. I say 10 to 15 inches is accurate. 10 to 15 inches for her of sand and leaf litter, approximately, for her to lay eggs. So that's what's going on with some of these lines that you can kind of see on the wall, where I was trying to guesstimate the height for everything as well as what I wanted. These pallets will sit on maybe a little taller, but that line you can see right here, probably higher up, but on that line is approximately where I want these pallets to sit for water to flow through. What I will then do is right along, not quite on the edge, it's not drawn on this one, I ended up putting this piece in after the fact, but about an inch or so in. So let's say the left side of this knob, the left side of this knot on this wood approximately is where I plan on making the cutoff for my overflow. And all I'm going to do is a simple overflow like you see in most aquariums. Basically it'll be in this case it'll be wood. Obviously the wood will be, for the overflow, will fall below, and I'm gonna give it another, again, an inch or so below my 3 drain holes here. The lowest one, clearly, because I jacked up when I was drilling them, it's lower than the rest of them. It'll be below the drain holes. And it'll allow for water to flow, or allow me to increase my water height, the actual water depth height to this hole. It'll allow for me to increase my water height to meet this hole, which that hole will serve as a drain for an auto drip system I will have set up on this tank. At the same time, if I build it correctly, it won't allow for water to, or for my sand soil mixture to be soggy constantly. There basically will be 2 boxes. One will be specifically to hold the sand. The other box will be specifically for water to pass and drain out of my overflows over here. I will work on it, figure it out. If I don't figure it out, then she'll keep laying in the water, and then I'll have to work on, I'll keep tweaking it until I get correctly. But basically I want for there to be room in this space for the soil to stay dry, for her to lay her eggs in. Not dry, but for it to stay damp, for her to lay her eggs in. But I don't want it soggy, soaking wet to the point where she can't lay her eggs. So I'll keep playing with it until I figure it out. Maybe in the future, or maybe I might extend it and then end up turning it from across this edge and then some of this corner, so it allows a little bit more, again, because they're aquatic, but I know they definitely can be terrestrial at times as well. So I'll make it so that they're able to, or they're not, they really aren't typically terrestrial, but I'll make it in the event that they want to bask. And I do have other turtle species. So if anybody does want to haul out, they want to dry out, they want to bask for a little bit, that they're able to do that as well. But that's a separate project right now. I want to make sure that I'm able to facilitate my female for laying eggs, as well as I'm able to run filtrations, solid filtration, and then keep it all in a similar space. We'll find out. If it doesn't work, it'll turn into just a big ass, excuse the language, it'll turn into a big ass overflow. I may drill some more holes on this end and just make a big overflow, but it'll turn into a big ass overflow and then just do what it does. We'll see. Again, this is nothing I've written down, nothing I've tried, but it's something that I've been thinking about and I've been planning, and I think in theory it should make sense, but we're gonna find out one way or another. All right, this video is plenty long enough. Talk to you later.